Let's get physical. December the 4th until the 8th, we're starting to get into that magical and most difficult time of the year. At least for me, I've got to make a bloody video about games when there are no games. But we're not exactly there yet because this is a tasty Christmas treat. But before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to a Kickstarter once more. You may remember earlier this year, I plugged a book that I was a contributor to. It turned out pretty awesome. Real quality product about the original Game Boy. I wrote a nice little piece about Kirby in it. Well, this time, it's the Game Boy Color, and I'm part of it again. It's on Kickstarter right now. I'm not talking about Kirby this time since Tilt and Tumble still haunts my nightmares, but in fact, something you may associate me with a bit more, Japanese games. Yes, I'm writing about Japanese exclusive Game Boy Color releases, so follow the link in the description. Honestly, the first one, absolute unit, and even my wife was impressed, and she's impressed by nothing. I'm still shocked she married me. Anyways, this week's releases, Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is a hotly anticipated physical release. When this dropped on the eShop, people wouldn't shut up about it. It's essentially Jet Set Radio 3, which is enough reason for a purchase alone. Now, some of you may know I'm currently going through completing the entire library of the Dreamcast over on A Bit More Jordan. I tell you, I cannot wait until Jet Set Radio comes out of the randomizer. So far, no cigar, but maybe I don't need to wait. Maybe I can just play this. This is like a 10 out of 10 game for many people, and so it's welcoming that a physical release is here, and fingers crossed it sells well. Interestingly, the developers also made Lethal League Blaze, which got an obscure physical release only in Japan, but this is going global, baby. And our executive producers Boombox, Precision Plague, Thorn Metal Luna, and Punky Dooster have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail releases in this episode, then please consider using the links in the description. You can purchase from Video Games Plus, an absolutely fantastic way to support us. They have good prices in cheap Canadian money, and they have cheap shipping, especially to the US, and even worldwide. It's free if you spend over 80 Canadian dollars, which is like 60 American dollars. They have lots of good stuff over there, and yeah, if you purchase something with our link, then each week you will be put into a draw with the chance of winning a $10 discount coupon, and this week's winner is Joel M. Congratulations, Joel. You should get an email from VGP if you haven't already with your coupon very soon. Thank you ever so kindly for your support. Skater XL is finally releasing on the Switch this week. This was supposed to come out ages ago but kinda disappeared without a trace until very recently. Let's just hope the Switch version was given the tender love and care to make it a good port. It promises 60 frames per second even in handheld mode, which is good, but let's just hope everything doesn't look like a carved potato. Actually, that sounds awesome. Let's make a game with carved potatoes. I do wonder how this is going to hold up against the Tony Hawk's games. I'd probably give it a shot. Slime Girl Smoothies is releasing this week. Only in Europe, of course, the most cultural of people. This is a cheap-looking puzzle game, as you'd expect from Funbox Media, but it's got the nutty content just like their other European exclusives. If you've played Valhalla but felt, you know what this needs? A paint-by-numbers puzzle game with big titties. Well, this is the game for you. If you're a cultured person and you live in North America and you need to import it, check the VGP links below and you can get it as well, and you can be a true cultured gentleman. It might even give you like a monocle and stuff. Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star is a huge surprise in my opinion. Like, who thought this would get a Western physical release? Not me. It was previously an import exclusive, which is cool, but if you didn't fancy that, now you can get it in your local store, which no one is gonna buy. This is literally the most niche thing until they decide to do something crazy like Hatsune Miku Boxing, which is actually coming next year. Star Wars Heritage Pack is releasing this week and contains an ungodly amount of Star Wars content that you probably already own on various other physical releases. This contains 7, count 'em, 7 Star Wars games, 5 of which are on the cartridge. Sadly, the 2 more interesting ones, both the Knights of the Old Republic games, they are downloads. Yeah, they couldn't fit those bloated file sizes on the carts, and Limited Run get to keep their word that these would never be coming to retail. Sad times, because if they were on the cart, this would have been the best thing like ever, and would have been immense value for money. Damn the Switch and its limited expensive cartridges. And our executive producer, Robotech, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Enter Exit the Gungeon is releasing in North America this week. This released in Europe earlier this year. Here you get two awesome and rather different games in one package. I'm sure both are quality, even if I kinda hate the name of the game. But rather than repeating myself about why, what I'll say is, if you remember a couple of days ago, I made a video about Switch double packs, and I didn't put this in, so I can add it in next time when I update the list and make it even more fatter and fuller. And everyone complained, I just can't believe you missed this. What a shame. Yeah, okay mate, okay. World of Horror is releasing at retail this week. Again, this is an adventure RPG with photocopier visuals that my eyes are far too precious to even try. I mean, just black and white, what's going on there? Nobody could ever have entertainment in just black and white. I mean, I've even seen books try that, like literal black words on white pages. What were they thinking? Where are the pop-up pictures? That's a proper book. Gravity Circuit is releasing in Europe this week at retail, hot off the tails of the Japanese release and way ahead of the North American one, which is next year. I've talked about this one a lot already, so it's just a heads up. ASTERIX and OBELIX, Slap Them All 2, released in Europe I think last week. This is another beat 'em up from the Gorlick duo. Is Gorlick a word? I don't know. There's the big chunky guy and the little fella smashing some Romans into oblivion. I don't know if or when in North America are going to get this one, but it's Microids. They tend to take their time with North American releases. Dolphin Spirit, likewise, a Microids game, should be releasing in North America this week, way after the European release. Air Twister is finally releasing in North America this week after being delayed compared to the EU and Japanese release, although I tell you what, I would go for the Japanese physical anyway because the Japanese are allowed to put some booty on the front cover, unlike us prude Westerners. Plus, she's further away so the visuals look less crap, which that always helps. Daymare 1994 Sandcastle is maybe releasing this week. It's one of those fun box guffage games that they don't really promote very much, and the dates move around all the damn time, so yeah, this is the last time I'm going to be mentioning this, since I've done so already before. Moving on. The Low Prince Fights in Tight Spaces is Super Rare's game this week with just 3,000 copies available on Thursday. You know you're in 2023 when there's a strategy game with roguelike deck building in it. I mean, how unimaginative do game developers have to be these days? I swear, roguelike deck building is a replacement for having to do actual game design. I swear, I will make a video about why I detest them so much one day in the future, just when I'm ready to be truly vilified the most, because it ain't gonna go down well. And our executive producer, Parsnip Coffee, has chosen this as her pick of the week. Atari Recharge Collection 3 and 4 are both going up for pre-order from Limited Run Games this week. Yeah, following on from 1 and 2, you won't be surprised, we got 3 and 4, which contain Yars Recharged, Caverns of Mars Recharged, Missile Command Recharged, Gravitar Recharged. Yeah, just 2 games per package. How generous of them. Or you can buy these double packs together in a double pack. It's double packception. And I know what you're thinking, that must be to save a bit of money, right? No, it's not cheaper at all. In fact, it's more expensive for reasons of lacking brain cells, I would imagine. Alright, we're heading into the imports. Play Asia territory. Yeah, if you want to import any of the games from this section, please use the Play Asia links below. It's an amazing way to support us, and I do ever so kindly thank you from the bottom of my heart. Plus, we can support you too with our dying code. Yes, 2023 is coming to a close, so one would assume SWTV23 is just, it's making its way up to the guillotine, right? Or the electric chair, one of those, which is more grim. I like more grim. So yeah, make the most of it before it's dead, okay? I'm sure we'll get a new one, I would hope, but you never know. Kemco RPG Selection Volume 5 is yet another Kemco RPG Selection. I think it's the 3rd or 4th one this year, and long may it continue. This pack contains 4 more cheap, cheerful JRPGs made on a budget. You get As Divine Menace, Wizard of Brandel, Seek Hearts, and Innocent Revenger. Of course, I've not played any of these, and I have no intention to, but that's not going to stop me from adding it to my collection one day to get a full Kemco set. Plus, I'm a sucker for the royal purple color on this one. I feel like I should be a fancy European prince or something. DoDonPachi, Blissful Death Reincarnation is releasing this week. Yes, the second DoDonPachi physical game we're getting on the Switch. Of interest to you might be the video I put on A Bit More Jordan about physical shooters on the Nintendo Switch. Just a little heads up about that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. A cave classic that's ported by M2. A reminder that this is a different one to the one Limited Run did. I don't play mobile games almost at all, but the mobile version of this, oh man, what a time killer. I love this game. And because it's M2, it'll be the best version of it and then some. So even though it ain't cheap, and even though it does not have English, I will still be getting it eventually once I remortgage the house. And our executive producer, Instacritic, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Shanghai Legend. Oh yeah baby, if there is one Mahjong game I can get behind, it's the Shanghai series, because we all have to admit it's the only legend in the room. I mean, it's still the family member we try not to talk about when comparing it to the Mahjong games, where you actually play Mahjong, but if tile matching is your thing, then whoo, what a release this is. It's the second of its kind as an import exclusive. One of the most obscure is Shanghai Refresh from a long time ago. Well, now it's Shanghai Legend. And fine, it's a legend in the industry, and it's made by Sunsoft. Sunsoft, you're alive! Please make nice games again. Just like the last one, this does have English, and I will have an impressions video over on Physical Paradise whenever they send me the code that they promised. Valis, the Fantasm Soldier, Collection 3, is releasing in Japan this week, without English of course, and Limited Run will no doubt be doing this eventually, but if you want it early, then you can get the PC 88 and Famicom versions of Valis 1, sounds kinda miserable, Valis 2 on the MSX2, Valis 3 on the Mega Drive, and Super Valis 4 on the Super Nintendo, which I think my patience and benefit of doubt has ran out. This is an absolute grift having 3 separate releases, and they've been crowdfunded, which makes even less sense that they're charging an arm and a leg for them. Like one huge collection of all these Valis games for $60, that would have been amazing, but this is just disappointing. Sea of Stars is releasing in Japan this week, with English. Now of course this is getting a Western physical release sometime early next year, still no date and still nowhere to pre-order, so you may want this Japanese version if you want it early, and I know it's subjective, but I do like the Japanese artwork a lot more. The Western one uses like the main key arts that we've seen a million times already, like everywhere, every article about this game they use that one, and it's nice, but the Japanese one has something a bit different that we haven't seen to death already, so it's up to you. Personally, I will probably get this one eventually. And our executive producers, Alexander Cato, They, Cartoon Soren, Jennifer M, God of Resin, Feig, Totally Grateful, Dane Wilkinson, and Issa have chosen this as their pick of the week. Espgaluda II released last week in Japan. I tend to accidentally forget those releases that aren't on Play Asia. Yeah, it's one of those games that Limited Run don't want you ordering, which is weird because it's not as though they can earn any more money from their sales. Pre-orders closed a long time ago. Anyways, this is a cave classic shooter, and if you can get it for a decent price, you should do, because it's great. Super Mario Bros. Wonder plus Pikmin 4, that's an interesting pack. $80 for 2 potential games of the year? Yeah, Japan's been pretty generous. Also, Japan, they have these games. The bottom one we have already. The other 2, of course, we don't, and we never will. Alright, the community spotlight. Ashura G sent in this picture. Pretty sure they picked up Nefasto's Misadventure during Black Friday, because if you watch one of the discount videos I did, this was €9, which is just insane value. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this picture of the limited edition of Void Terrarium, which is one of my favorite collector's editions. Only issue is the weak ass outer packaging, which I think they're fixing their newer collector's editions these days. Diesel JT sent in this photo picking up the very obscure Kraken Odyssey, a cheap looking 3D platformer that's not going to be talked about much in years to come. Executive producer Feig sent in this picture, getting in a nice package from Play Asia on the right. Bayonetta Origins, I'm currently working on the Game of the Year video, and I'm surprised to see that this will be making an appearance. Not very high, but I did kind of forget it existed. Executive producer God of Resin, thank you ever so much for your support with the purchase links of these. Some nice Play Asia exclusive collector's editions. I know that Cosmo Dreamer, another one, is being sent out like next week. And if you want to get the CE, the collector's edition, you might want to order it now because there was less than 10% of stock left, like before the weekend. So yeah, they only made like 1,000 copies. So yeah, these will be gone fast. Plus they have big boobs, so you know. Executive producer Instacritic picked up these games, including the absolute travesty of Swoon, an import exclusive platformer that looks beautifully horrendous. Lewis K sent in this picture with some import exclusives, including Sunblaze, which will be one of the more obscure releases in the future. I'm 100% sure of that, only released in Southeast Asia. McLaren sent in this photo with a collector's edition of Passepartout 2, which released in Japan. I made an impressions video of it over on Physical Paradise, and I really liked it so far. Nintendo Gamer Gal sent in this photo, picking up the amazing Ghost Trick travesty Capcom made that digital only in the West. Executive producer Offphone sent in this photo, getting in a nice package from Red Art Games. The one in the middle was long delayed, not sure why, but it was in quite high demand. Executive producer Precision Plague sent in this photo, a few from Special Reserve, who recently announced that they won't be making any more physical games exclusive to their website. Well, you know, if you're relying on Piku Niku and Heave Ho, who can be surprised? Hardly gonna make the masses come and buy it. Starvey sent in this photo, getting in a very early copy of Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Very lucky boy. Executive producer Thorn Metal Luna sent in this picture with that super shiny Love 3 from Premium Edition Games. I had no idea it was that shiny. I think I like 100% need it right now. I did actually reject publishers, they tend to send me collector's editions. I've had to say no, please don't send me any more. I have no space, but if it's shiny, guys. Yes, executive producer Vei, our man in Japan, sent in this picture, getting in the legendary hamster game on a cartridge. What a time to be alive. Alright, let's have a roundup. JB in my knots. Kresalak. Lunar Dragon. Gundam Wing Zero. Starlight. That bloody sadomasochist. Yusha. Needless Dragon. Wanko Rotary Engine. Vast Neon. Mickey McFlynn. Darky. The One. Shane L. Robin H. Andrew R. Pabs. And that's it. Please send me your pictures on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. DM me, okay? Or you can send it in our email address, switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com, and of course the Discord. The server link should be below. I think everyone's joined already, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, as always, special thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, Jake Rod 7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, They, Mental Traveler, A Phone, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Kadacha, Totally Grateful, Alex M, and Fee, plus you. Oh, yeah, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, please leave me a smoothie or a milkshake or something emoji in the comments, okay? Because Slime Girl Smoothies gonna be bringing all the boys to the yard. At least all the uncool ones. Anyways, go check out some of our other stuff, my 2 other channels. Yes, a bit more Jordan, still plowing through the Dreamcast library. Also, Physical Paradise. I've been doing a lot of impressions videos, which That's good. I didn't do them on SwitchWatch because they're not scripted. I just talk about a game for like 5 minutes, and yeah, it's just like a quick impressions throwaway video, but you might learn something from some physical releases. It's almost midnight right now. That's why I'm a bit weird. I've gone a bit delirious because I'm kind of tired. Anyways, have a good day.